Today, we'll be discussing the Indian movie Chhatriwali. At the beginning of the story, we are introduced to Vijay, a young man eager to propose to the woman he loves. However, the girl's family quickly rejects his proposal. The reason? Vijay works at a factory that manufactures condoms. Because of this, Vijay believes he'll never get married. Feeling hopeless, he decides to resign from his job. Although the factory owner, Lamba, pleads with him not to quit, Vijay ignores his request and leaves. Next, we're introduced to Sanya, a chemistry graduate living in a small town called Kurnool. Since she's unemployed, Sanya spends her time conducting chemistry tuition classes for local kids. Meanwhile, her mother frequently hosts gambling sessions in the house's attic to earn some extra money. Concerned about household expenses, Sanya's mother advises her to find a proper job. Determined, Sanya promises to look for work the following day. The next morning, Sanya boards a bus on her way to a job interview. A young man offers her his seat, but she misinterprets his gesture and scolds him before heading to the interview. Unfortunately, she doesn't get the job. One evening, she decides to fly kites with some children. She wants to show that her kite is strong, so she plans to attach a 2,000 rupees on her kite. Seeing this, Lamba's son tries to take her kite. However, because the string of her kite is strong, the boy decides he will find a way to get it no matter what. Noticing this, Sanya quickly runs toward the boy's house. Despite all his efforts, Lamba's son is unable to cut the string. Eventually, she reveals that the string was strengthened using a chemical process. She explains that if someone knows how to do it, cutting the string would actually be quite easy. Intrigued, Lamba asks how she knows all this. Sanya responds that she holds a degree in chemistry. When Lamba asks about her job, she replies that she doesn't have one yet and spends her time teaching chemistry to children. Lamba then considers hiring Sanya to replace Vijay, who had previously left his job. One day, Lamba waits at the bus stop until Sanya arrives. Upon meeting her, he offers her a job at his condom company. However, when Sanya feels that the job is not morally acceptable, she scolds him. However, Lamba tries to explain to her that the job isn't as bad as she thinks. He tells her she needs to visit the company first to see for herself. Since Sanya had failed in the previous interview, she decides to visit his company. After showing her around the premises, she states that she'll only take the job if she's paid 50,000 rupees per month and if her employment there remains a secret forever. Lamba agrees, provided she commits to working for the company for at least a year. Once they both come to an agreement, Sanya heads home happily and informs her mother that she landed a job at a reputable company, earning 50,000 rupees a month. However, she lies about the nature of the company, claiming it's an umbrella factory. Her mother is overjoyed upon hearing this. From the next day, Sanya starts her new job. Lamba explains that her role involves quality control for the condoms produced by the company. As time passes, Sanya diligently performs her duties. One day, she discovers that the latex they've been using is improperly stored, compromising its safety. Realizing the gravity of the issue, she informs Lamba and recommends switching to a safer batch of latex. She also educates the team on proper storage techniques. A few days later, Sanya attends a wedding where she meets Rishi, the young man she had argued with on the bus. After recognizing each other, Sanya explains that she works as a QC officer at an umbrella factory. Rishi, in turn, mentions that he works at a family-owned religious goods store. During this time, Sanya apologizes to Rishi for the misunderstanding on the bus. As they spend more time together, they eventually fall in love. After some time, they get engaged and plan to marry soon. Throughout this period, Sanya keeps her job a secret. As the wedding date approaches, Sanya asks Lamba for some leave. Lamba happily grants her request and assures her that they will not attend the wedding to avoid causing her any discomfort. Before Sanya leaves, Lamba advises her that honesty is essential in any relationship. However, due to Rishi's family being highly religious, Sanya decides not to reveal the nature of her job. Lamba reassures her that she should never feel ashamed of her work. Back at home, Sanya contemplates whether to reveal the truth or not. Ultimately, she confides in her sister, who reminds her that this secret cannot be kept forever. Sanya then mentions that her contract ends in 3 months, so she decides to keep it hidden for now. After a short period, Sanya and Rishi get married. Rishi's family, being well respected in the village, gradually grows fond of Sanya. Eventually, they express pride in her work at the factory. One day, as Sanya is about to leave for work, Rishi's brother, Rajan, suggests Rishi drop her off near the factory. Fearing that Rishi might discover the truth, Sanya tries to decline but ultimately has to accept. Pretending to enter the umbrella factory, Sanya quickly rushes to the condoms factory once Rishi leaves. Meanwhile, Rajan, a biology teacher at a high school, decides to teach reproductive systems separately to boys and girls. When a male student asks questions about it, Rajan dismisses the female students to only explain the male reproductive system. Later, he dismisses the boys and brings back the girls to teach them only the female reproductive system. One evening, Sanya notices Rajan's wife collapsing and quickly takes her to the hospital. The doctor informs them that due to 2 prior abortions, her health is severely compromised, and another pregnancy could be life-threatening. The doctor advises using contraception in the future. After the doctor leaves, Rajan's wife confesses that she had to undergo abortions because she already had children and that she is allergic to contraceptive pills. When she suggested using condoms, Rajan dismissed the idea as immoral and refused. Back home, she asks Sanya not to reveal this to Rajan. Meanwhile, their daughter, Lily, approaches Sanya, asking her to teach her about the reproductive system properly. Sanya asks why she doesn't ask her father, to which Lily responds that he doesn't teach it thoroughly. Despite initially only wanting to learn about the female reproductive system, Sanya insists that Lily needs to understand everything. One evening, Rajan's wife faints again, prompting Lily to fear losing her mother. This wasn't the first time, and Lily is left unsure of what to do next. The next day, Sanya realizes the importance of birth control methods. She approaches Lamba, tears up their agreement, and declares that she will dedicate her life to saving women's lives. Sanya commits to improving the quality of condoms, eventually raising their effectiveness to 97%. She tells Rishi that they must use protection whenever they engage in sexual activity, even though they are married. She threatens him, saying that if he refuses this, from today onwards, he'll only be able to use his hands. Initially reluctant, Rishi agrees because they're not ready for a child yet. The next day, Rishi discreetly goes to a pharmacy, wearing a helmet to avoid being recognized, and buys a condom. That night, the couple happily reconnects. The following day, Sanya advises Nisha to encourage her husband to use condoms. Nisha hesitates, explaining that her husband is very different from Rishi. Undeterred, Sanya decides to educate the local women about sexual health, emphasizing that overdosing on birth control pills can have harmful effects, and suggests condoms as a safer alternative. However, these women are doubtful that their husbands will agree to this. But she suggests telling their husbands the same thing she told Rishi, that they'll only be able to use their hands from now on. She believes that as soon as they hear this, their husbands will start listening to whatever they say. Sanya's plan succeeds, leading to a surge in condom purchases at Lamba's pharmacy. While this boosts Lamba's business, the pharmacy manager is unhappy, considering it inappropriate for so many people to buy condoms. He decides to confront the group, asserting that men, as family heads, shouldn't be subordinate to women's suggestions. Consequently, some husbands begin refusing their wives' advances, preferring other outlets like spas. This creates tension and confusion. Sanya tries to reason with the women, explaining the temporary nature of their husband's behavior. However, the women are not willing to take such a risk. They reject her suggestions and leave. After thinking deeply for a long time, she decides to tell Rishi the truth about her job. However, before she can, she hears a commotion outside. Villagers confront her, accusing her of working at a condom factory. Rajan tries to defend her, dismissing the accusations as lies. But Sanya bravely admits the truth, shocking Rajan, who sees it as a family disgrace. He apologizes to the people of the village, then demands her resignation. Despite her pleas, emphasizing the life-saving impact of her work, Rajan insists it violates their religious values. Even Rishi remains silent, deeply disappointed by Sanya's deception. Feeling isolated and misunderstood, Sanya decides to leave her home and return to her parents. Days later, Lamba visits Sanya, revealing that the news leak came from Vijay, a former employee. Lamba praises Sanya for her courage and dedication to educating the local women, making her proud of her efforts. Remembering Lily and Nisha, Sanya resolves to push forward. She applies to become a schoolteacher, aiming to spread sexual education formally. However, the school principal rejects her due to her past work. Refusing to give up, Sanya uses a kite to send messages to children, inviting them to her free classes. Many children join, but when Rajan discovers Lily's interest, he forbids her from attending. He also disrupts Sonia's class, accusing her of spreading immoral teachings. Sonia argues that curiosity about bodily changes is natural and that proper education is crucial to prevent harmful consequences. Meanwhile, Rishi reflects on Sonia's struggles. His father shares his own experience of working in a slaughterhouse to support the family, hiding it out of shame. He advises Rishi to stand by Sonia, despite societal judgment, is doing the right thing. Then next day, while Sonia waiting for the students, police came and arrest her. Seeing this, Rishi goes to the shop and takes some money to bail her out. However, when Rishi tries to leave, Rajan stops him, forbidding him from going. Rajan even threatens him, saying that if he leaves, he will kick him out of the shop. Frustrated, Rishi shouts at Rajan and storms off. Later, Rishi meets Sonia at the police station and apologizes to her. Eventually, the two reconcile. The next time they go to class, they find it completely ruined, with all the books soaked from the rain. While they try to gather the books, some children come with umbrellas to help them. The following morning, Rajan hears that Sonia is teaching the children about reproduction right in front of their house. Furious, Rajan threatens them, demanding that they leave immediately. However, Rajan's parents arrive and take Sonia's side. Nisha also comes to support Sonia, revealing that she couldn't speak up earlier due to the restrictions imposed on her. At this point, Lily explains that due to unhealthy sexual behaviors, her mother had to be hospitalized twice. However, out of fear of her husband, she never disclosed this to anyone. Lily is deeply worried that one day, she might face the same fate as her mother. Hearing this, Rajan finally realizes the importance of teaching sexual education from a young age. Understanding its value, he decides to support the initiative. And so, as this story comes to a close, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below.